It's always gratifying, I feel, if somebody says they would like to have a piece of work. And people don't usually say they want to have a piece of work, or indeed buy it, I presume, unless it is a piece of work that has provoked thought on their part. There's a very definite, well, either a frisson or a sort of central element, I think, to working with the materials. I mean, I do very much, I love working with the paint. I mean, you know, obviously there is a subject matter in the painting, but the actual paint material itself is hugely enjoyable just as a material to work with. I love exploring its possibilities, how it anneals itself into the canvas, how it spreads, how it saturates the canvas. And then of course when I'm working with my papers and those sorts of materials, there again, I mean, I can just quite happily just spend time staining or dyeing or bleaching the papers. That in itself is just a very enjoyable activity. I come from a painting family. My parents were designers and my grandfather was a wood carver. So when I grew up, you know, I suppose I just absorbed, you know, artworks. I mean, the house was full of people doing artworks, so I didn't really think an awful lot about it. No, I mean, I could have probably gone into design. My parents really had to earn a living as designers. They liked to paint creatively in their spare time, but they had quite a hard time. They had to, you know, find work for themselves, which is what they did. But I was always very realistic. I was brought up to understand that it would be a very difficult area to earn a decent living in, you know, just creatively painting, that it would be very hard work. I mean, I actually wanted to teach anyway, you know, I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted certainly to earn a living as a teacher. But I also quite fancied one day being able to do what I'm doing now, which is stop and, you know, have the painting full time. The satisfaction in this area is a bit, I think it's very like people who can write poetry. You know, it's for yourself. It's the value is to you. I mean, there is a part of you, of course, either as a painter or as a musician or as a poet. At some point there's a part of you that says, I would like this to go out into the public domain. But initially, for me, I was sort of always brought up with the idea that it was to do with yourself to begin with. And you know, as long as there was this kernel of reward, because you found it such a satisfying activity. At the end of the day, your own work is the thing that counts. I mean, if you've not got that sort of connection through to your work that says this is, I mean, it's not as though you do it particularly consciously, but you just know that what you're doing, hopefully, is not like anyone else's. There's a great sense of achievement, as you would for a child, I suppose, when it gains maturity, you know. But there's also a very peculiar, I don't think all artists feel this, but I do. There is a sort of feeling of almost loss when a piece has gone and it's gone to someone else. Because think how close you've been. I mean, it's just paint and canvas, for goodness sake, but it's, you have been very close to it, sometimes for a long while, and you know all about it, and suddenly it's not there anymore. The exciting thing for me is when people come up to me and say, I have a piece of your work and I'm continually looking at it and I've just noticed, and they've maybe had it for 10 years, and they will say, we just noticed that there was such and such in the painting. And that to me is the most exciting thing.